I've had a lot of requests from my building blocks knitters asking me to show how I handle weaving in ends in seed stitch, since that is used throughout the book. So let me show you how. Here I am on the wrong side of seed stitch, which is actually reversible, but I'm on the wrong side of my little demo piece here, and it can be difficult to weave an end through the wrong side because unlike stockinette, the wrong side has knits and purls, because that's what seed stitch is knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one. So my method is to zigzag through the purl bumps in 2-stitch columns to hide your tail. If you look up here, you can see, maybe not, it's pretty invisible, but this is where I wove in one tail yarn, and it is pretty invisible. I'm going to demonstrate with some contrasting yarn, and then I'll show you in the matching yarn so you can see. So if you look at the piece, you can see that there are columns or vertical rows of purl stitches, purl bumps. And what I'm going to do is go pick 2 columns and go from side to side and zigzag my yarn through. So I'm going to, for demonstration, pick this column and this column of purl bumps, and I'm just going to go back and forth, back and forth. So my yarn isn't anchored here. Your tail, of course, would be, but this will give you a good idea. So I went under the purl bump on this right column, so then I'll go in the left column, and you can do 2 at a time if you like, but I'll do a couple just kind of slowly. So the left column, all right, my hand gets in the way there, and then the right, and then go into the purl bump in the left column. You can see I'm just kind of zigzagging back and forth. Now I'm just going to do 2 at a time. It's a little bit easier. So here's the right column and the left column, and then I'll go ahead and pull that through. Spread that out a little bit. The right column, the left column. Making sure I get that tension just so. Sometimes you have to adjust it a little bit so that it mimics the same tension that your piece has. So you'll want to go through, about 8 stitches or so. And what I like to do for the last couple is, because this is just threaded through and it's not anchored very securely, the last 2 stitches that I go through, I split the yarn in that stitch. So you can see here's the nice fat stitch, and I'm actually going to split it. Instead of going completely under it, I'm going to split that stitch. And then I will do the same thing with this stitch on the left side. Instead of going under it, I'm going to split it. And there you can see. So that would be how it would be nicely woven in, and it's pretty anchored very securely. So we can go ahead and we can cut this little guy here and trim that. So let me thread my needle again, and we'll show you how to do it in the matching thread, and you'll see how nicely invisible and just really handy, since this seed stitch you see oftentimes is used to be reversible. So here on the edge, I'm going to pick this column of purl bumps and this column of purl bumps and move back and forth. So under the purl bump on the right, under the one on the left, come over here to the right one, and you can see in that matching yarn how this is really pretty invisible. So I did the one on the left, or it's really kind of on the edge here. Go to the right, and I would probably do a couple of more, but I'm just going to go ahead and split my yarn so you see. So I'm going to split the yarn. Instead of going under that stitch, I'm just going to split the yarn on one stitch and come over on this edge, split that yarn, pull that through. Pretty good. I might want to tighten up that tension just a little bit so it really mimics what I have in my work. And go ahead and cut that flush, and there you have it. Weaving in on the back of seed stitch. Happy knitting!